CAPAIDS Uganda introduces to you the Local Leadership Labs project, an initiative focusing on how best we can achieve sustainable development in our communities, and the interventions that you've put to really attend to such issues in your communities. What is affecting you? What is affecting the social fund that you're having? What's affecting you in achieving the development interventions that we've put in place as a CBO, as a network, as a civic network, as government official, and those that are operating as NGOs in such regions?
Donors that fund us designing their own projects, let them work with us. We have the local knowledge. For us, that is an opportunity. We know that, yes, there's research that they do gender analysis, they do witch analysis, they do these baselines, but let them work with us. That for me is actually an opportunity. We also have an opportunity many times, and especially in the developing countries, we have the belief that government should not be a donor. For us, we are seeing an opportunity of local governments being a donor to these grassroots organizations, to us. Because the work that the local government is doing is the same work that we are doing. And many times, ours is even better and there's more impact. So for us, that is where we see a very big opportunity, because we know that these donors have dialogues and conversations at that high level with government. Perhaps it's about time that we push that agenda that let local governments fund. They receive projects, Dr. Drip, you name them. These are big projects, but when you go on ground to actually see where the impact is, you will hardly find much. So the opportunity for us, one of the key opportunities we're looking out for, is how these donor organizations can work with local governments or the central government, whichever way, but to make the local government itself a donor to the grassroots organization. So localization should not just be at the level of the donor, let's take it to government as well. Because there are other costs which are not covered under these project funds. How many of us here have staff who are insured? And yet we face these risks in the community we are working in. Every time we're on borders, on bikes, moving to the community, very many risks incurred. We also need those overhead costs for us to be able to safeguard our own teams.
My name is Aldo Mati is my name. I am the coordinator for the West Nile CSO Hub. It's a youth-based hub that brings together over 45 CSOs to co-create and live together, share resources. This is a project that we came together to see that the civic space is enabled in one way or the other, enabled in a way that many CBOs or grassroots organizations do not have a space where they can live as their home. So the CSOs Hub brings together all these 45 CBOs to come and use this space, and all the facilities there are free. The biggest idea is to see co-creation of ideas from where there has been a spectrum that local grassroots organizations do not have. It's hard to deal with them because they do not have a location where they can work with them. But we are now trying to address that, and we are hopeful that partners like CAPAIDS are coming in to impress these ideas of this working with CSOs under the CSO network. What we really want to say is that as a challenge to the CSO network is being addressed through the CSO approach, trying to open up the street in civic space. One, our key request to the donor is now, we know there's been a lot of literature on issues to do with where they say the capacity of the CSOs are not there, they cannot implement projects of a bigger funding, but this is a literature that has been there maybe 10 or 20 years back. We needed where they could come, and maybe now we have the CSO approaches to come and sit with us and listen to us so that we incorporate new data that is driven to inform the next project that are coming, where now localization agenda is the biggest stop. I stand particularly because I have experiences looking at how coordinating these 45 CSOs in West Nile in one single area, and the achievements they have achieved within 2 years has been enormous, whereby some of them have grown from CBOs, they are now national NGOs, and others from being totally not funded are having funds of their own and still also leaving the space to empower others. We want the approach to change from looking at us as people or organizations that do not have capacity to organizations that now have capacity and can co-create better project ideas, because that is where the community needs are. if we have all these 45 of them coming together, the biggest resource there is the network that has been built in there. I think the missing link has only been the ideas of where the trust of the donors in grassroots approaches. Basically, if you look at West Nile as a whole region, we almost all, if you look at the 1.5 million refugees in here, 750 of them come from West Nile. That is like the half population of refugees, almost more than half, are based in West Nile, and we have a lot of civic space that has a lot of international NGOs, but these NGOs cannot, over these 10 years or decades where the refugees have been here, they have never built the capacities of these CBOs that the literature has been saying it has been lacking. So I think our key request to the donor world is that we need co-creation as the best idea. CSOs are striving and the needs continue to expand. Our call is we need more partnerships where we're co-creators rather than being implemented, that's like forced implementations. Thank you.
So the issue of the civic space, someone here, I don't remember who mentioned that the civic space is enabling, but we prefer to, as Feminature, and ICS, we do not agree. We think the civic space is not enabling enough, because how many places do we have to report to? URSB, URA, NSSF, data protection, NGO bureau, FIA, you name them. So many things to report to. Why don't you just do it once? You get, that is one. Two, even the laws that are being enacted are not very friendly to us. The amendments to the NGO bill, the NGO Act, are not friendly to us. Even the small money you're getting is going to be questioned. One time they held our funds for almost 3 months, just questioning where the sources of the fund, when they actually know where it is coming from and what it is meant for. We get project documents. We had to wait for 3 months. Bank just sells the money. So the enabling environment is not very, very conducive for us. And also for those of us who are doing work in the lines of governance and accountability and generally those ones. Governance and accountability. You mentioned democracy anywhere, and government is starting to squeeze your throat. Who are you? Go and focus on SGBV. And then we have real issues in governance that actually need to be worked on and addressed. So issues of the freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, those issues, we do not feel confident enough to speak on them. If you even do a survey here in West Nile, how many organizations openly come and vehemently talk about these issues? Very few of them, because there's a fear behind it. So we feel the civic space is actually shrunken, almost getting closed. Thank you.
My name is Godfrey Dichile, Executive Director of SEFTRA West Nile. SEFTRA is a community empowerment for transformation action West Nile. It's a local-based organization that operates in West Nile here. As SEFTRA, we're also part of Startup for Change Global and Startup for Change Working Group Uganda. And today I'm here talking about the issues that local actors within the West Nile that we face as the local organizations, and what we're doing as the local actors in the region. First of all, we, the West Nile, we host refugees, and most of these districts we have refugees, and we have interventions both in the refugee center and also with the host communities. And the environment here is, we always advocate for the peaceful coexistence between the refugees and the host communities. Then also local actors within the region here, they have a number of issues that keep emerging as our region here. First of all, the local actors, the funding issue that has so gone low, because find the issues that at hand are so high, but the rate of the amount of funding we get has gone down. That means a lot needs to be done, but the low funding that we have, and most of the local organizations now resort to doing self-fundraising, maybe the membership contributions like that. So that is the issue of funding that has been a big challenge to us. But then also the relationship with the international organizations, the donor communities within the region. Of course, we are aware of the fact that the region hosts a lot of refugees. The numbers is verified. Even the first of all, Arua City alone will be over 24,000 urban refugees. Yet the government does not have the policy that acknowledges the urban refugees. That means the pressure is on the local actors, the pressure is on the local government. So then this is coming at a time when the funding level has gone down. We also have issues of compliance, because a lot of, you find the government has come up with a lot of compliance issues, different. You find you have to report to URA, you have to report to NFA, NSSF, you have to have FOA, Financial Intelligence Authority. But this is the same document you are submitting here and there. Can we have one portal where some of the information are put in one place and can be accessed? So as the local organizations, these are still the challenges that we keep facing as in our region. We're talking about transparency, we're talking about accountability, we're talking about issues of advocacy, engaging the media and the donor community. This is our cry to you, that we, the local actors, we appreciate your effort you're giving to us. We appreciate the support you're giving the local actors, but let this be direct to us.
It is very important for overhead costs to also trickle down to the local actors so that they are able to meet some of these numerous challenges when it comes to issues of compliance, issues of institutional capacity building and strengthening. And then my other ask to the donors is on advocacy. I would implore the donor community to invest in advocacy when it comes to locally led or locally driven responses, so that the communities can be put at the forefront to ensure that their voices are captured on matters that affect them, because without them, the donors cannot do. So the communities and the local actors should be directly involved. So a lot of advocacy has to be done on issues of locally led development, knowing that our context is different from the international context. So the due diligence processes has to be simplified so that the local and national actors can fit in that process. We also have existing mechanisms in the country. Why can't the donor community align some of their due diligence processes or documentation to what is already existing? For example, we have QAM. So if a CBO or a local actor has been QAM'd, can't an international donor consider that as part of their due diligence, instead of coming also with a different set of documentation, which literally implies the same thing? Why can't the donor community actually simplify or go by the already existing quality assurance mechanisms that are already existing, instead of duplicating all these? It's wasting a lot of time and resources to be doing back and forth due diligence processes. So to me, the donor community should be able to simplify or align the due diligence processes to what is already existing in our country, and also working closely with our district leadership, because the district leadership has all information about the local actors who are within, and they know where they are, they know what they do. So partnering also with the district leadership and knowing who the actors are is very crucial when it comes to the locally led development.
I want to thank CAPAIDS, CIVICUS for this engagement. You are doing a great job here today. Carrying home a lot of lessons I have learned, so I'll be able to feed my senior about the developments here. We also raise an issue of the political will, the political environment. Yes, the government has provided us the environment to operate in, but sometimes when you localize it, as we explained by the different groups, the definition of localization. So leave alone the state, when you come to the local governments down here up to the S1 level, there's an issue of the political will. You are called to do certain things as mandated by the law, but sometimes we may not be interested. Somebody called it interference. Yes, because there are certain issues where some category of people may not understand certain operations. More especially, we sometimes knock our heads with certain NGOs and CSOs, because the leaders may not have much information on your operations. Then you find the act in the act, I don't want to say in ignorance, but they lack knowledge on your operations. So I am just requesting the CBOs that are here, when you are executing your activities, your programs, let the political wing be in, even up to the S1 level. So that is a developer concern. I want to thank CAPAIDS again. This is my first time to hear, but you have a very interesting intervention with the CIVICUS. These are new. These are new CSOs I'm interacting with, but the interventions are so interesting. If you can have this kind of session, I know it is a consultation meeting, but you can come up with the interventions where we can intervene together with the CBOs. And also, you have the capacity to lobby for the CBOs such that you can build the capacity to attract more donors. The CBOs work and can graduate to the national NGOs such that their interventions can be broadened. So I thank you so much with this lengthy remarks. Lastly, I want to thank you as we are departing to our various destinations. I wish you God's journey mercies. I say all this for God and my country.